U Sports on CBC, les championnats U Sport. Brought to you in part by. Vous êtes présenté par Nike Team, Just Do It. Faites-le. Barron, exclusive supplier of U Sports championship rings. Le fournisseur exclusif des bagues de championnat U Sport. Fox 40, celebrating a decade of the Fox 40 U Sports Coach of the Year program. Fier partenaire des prix de l'entraîneur de l'année U Sport depuis 10 ans. By Veraburn, proud medical supplier to university sports since 1979. Fier partenaire du sport universitaire depuis 1979. The Government of Canada. Le gouvernement du Canada. Et par Mikasa, l'étoile montante du volleyball, le V200W, ballon officiel de U-Sport. And by Mikasa, makers of volleyball's hottest star, the V200W, the official volleyball of U-Sports.
And a beautiful rendition of O Canada to start us off on day number 2 of the U Sports Men's Volleyball Championships from the Burridge Gymnasium on the campus of McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. And it's Consolation game number 1 featuring the Windsor Lancers and the U of T Varsity Blues, a rematch of the OUA semifinals. Matthew Davison alongside Everett DeLorme for the call of this one on CBC Sports. And Everett, 2 disappointing results yesterday, but an opportunity to get back into the win column today on day number 2 of the Final 8.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Anytime you go to national championships, you want to win that first game. You want to prove your worth. But I think the way these teams lost was 2 very different stories. On the side of the U of T Varsity Blues, you pushed the defending champs, the top team in the country, and really proved your worth and proved why you're here. But on the other side, for the number 5 Windsor Lancers, they have so much more to prove. They were probably the most disappointing team yesterday of all 8, getting handed a 3-0 loss to the Sherbrooke-Barré-Or. And just the way that they did it, they didn't show much fight. They didn't show really who they were, so I'm really expecting them to bounce back and to see a really good match. Now remember, Windsor did beat U of T in that OUA semifinal just a few weeks ago, so they're going to want to prove that that wasn't a fluke and that they are truly amongst the best 8 in the country.
U of T, of course, one of the most prolific programs in OUA history, and it was kind of a bit of a rough patch in the early 2000s. They qualified for 3 straight Final 8s, 2019, and then last year and this year, but they hadn't done that since 2003, 2004. So John Barrett's kind of leading them back and returning them to glory. On the other side, the Windsor Lancers, they're starting to reach their first kind of success in the OUA and in U Sports, qualifying for the Final 8 back in the 2018-19 season, and then following that up a few years later, this past season, getting their best result with a silver medal. So 2 very compelling storylines heading into this one. And you mentioned it, U of T took a set off of the Golden Bears yesterday, and a little bit of fear set into the defending champs, I'm sure. And then it was just the champs who were just too strong in the end and took them out in 4 sets. But do they take some of what they, proved in that one and kind of try to take that the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, I think so. But one thing I'm noticing earlier on, number 10, Jaden Talsma, who started for U of T yesterday, is not only not in the starting lineup, but he's on the bench, not even dressed.
We did get word that he's a little bit banged up today, so I guess expect Arul Pergasm to get a little bit more minutes in this one.
Yeah, number 14, the big man on the left side, going to be coming in, and I think that is a little bit of a blow there for the U of T Varsity Blues. But once again, when we talked to John Barrett on Thursday in preparation for this, he says we play the best when we play together as a team, and we're working all together. And to me, if you're there at practice and you're a part of that squad, you have that ability to do that. So Talsma wasn't necessarily relied on too heavily for offensively. So if Arupa Grasam can continue some good passing, some good defense, I think U of T has a good shot here.
And for the Lancers, they struggled yesterday, especially on the attack game. Luka Nastase and Zach Albert pretty limited yesterday, and we'll see what day number 2 has in store for both these sides. Great early dig out there by the Windsor player as the Varsity Blues look to get set up. That one just floated over. Great dig out again by that libero, Stephen Abrams, and that one just floated over again by the Blues. Oh, what a dig out there. That was Newart for the Blues. Here come the Lancers again into the triple block. Getting it was Dunning. Good rally, and point number 1. Back set right into that block, but able to finish Mitchell Newart.
Just out of bounds there on the block. And good first rally for both teams, just kind of feeling them out. Good defense on either sides, and Mitch Newart does what he does best, goes thumbs down off the block, out of bounds.
Mitchell Newart coming over after 3 seasons with Queens, pursuing his Masters of Science at UFT. Oh, that was a big-time blast from number 12, DiGirolamo for the Lancers, as that one's going to be ruled UFT point, or Point Windsor rather.
That was actually Bridges Hunter. DiGirolamo's the setter, so he's going to be setting that ball as Bridges Hunter goes back to serve.
Bridges Hunter, the Hawaii native. Showed a little bit of flash yesterday.
Offensively, he was probably one of the more consistent Windsor Lancers for sure.
So that's a over hit there from Evan Falardo.
Falardo's going to want to work into his momentum, into his rhythm early here, especially with not having Talisman out there. He's going to be relied on even more.
He had 17 kills yesterday on 37 total attacks as Bridges Hunter stays on to serve, and it's in the net.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting Windsor to have a bit more of a better performance today. You know, they've settled into things. They're also playing a team that they recognize and they know well from the OUA
Falardo on the serve, right into that triple block, and the Blues are able to recover. Abrams, miss hit there. Gustavo Sequeira, tough ball. So a 3-2 advantage here for the number 8 seed Varsity Blues. Falardo will serve it again. Good serve. And right into that block. John Dunning was there again. But it's going to be Point Windsor.
Just not enough penetration there from Dunning, not getting his feet set, getting over the net. Going to want to see more of that from him. It's too bad, too, because the U of T middles had such a good game yesterday. They really helped elevate their level and keep them in that match.
DiGirolamo, good first serve, and that's going to be Mitchell Newart. Big blast from him.
Beautiful swing there down the line by Newart, and we're going to see they're giving him that space down the line. We'll see if Windsor continues to let Newart swing down the line in that way.
Now Georgetown's John Dunning on the serve. And that one just tapped over. Ivanovsky finding the space.
Not a great set there by DiGirolamo. But Ivanovsky may able to make do with it a little bit.
So Gustavo Sequeira, second team All-Star this year. On the serve for the Lancers, that's a miss hit there from Hayden Cavender in the middle. Cavender played a year at Waterloo before coming over to the Varsity Blues. Ranked number 5 in the OUA in blocks this past year. As Sequeira will serve it again with a 5-4 advantage here. Right into that block. Good job by Falardo. Dig it back up. Great play by Abrams. Sent back by Albert. Varsity Blues look to group, and Newart's touch was kept up by Ivanovsky. There's another good rally here. Just floated over there by Arul Pogazim, his first touch, and then that's finished off by Zach Albert. It's going to be out of bounds, so point for the Varsity Blues. A lot of errors yesterday for Zach Albert. We'll see if he can have a better game today. He's certainly capable of it. Had a lot of good performances in his OUA season. That one's
Arul Pogazim there.
Yes.
Nice little block there on Lucas Nastase. That's his first real positive touch here coming in after having not played last match. So great job there by Arul Pogazim.
Arul Pogazim is a 3-time All-Star and provincial champ with Team BC Red before coming over to the Blues.
Nice ace there by Mitch Newart. As U of T now creates that 2-point lead, up 7-5.
Third point for Newart. This time he sends it out of play. As Anthony Ivanovsky will come on to serve for the Lancers. Windsor's always been the place where Ivanovsky wanted to play. Remembers coming to the Lancers games when he was little, and dream come true when he could put on the jersey, but that serve's going to go out of play. As it's consolation game number 1 between the Lancers and the Varsity Blues. That serve from Arul Pogazim is going to go out of play, so maybe a little bit too much adrenaline on that one.
A lot lower level so far from U of T Varsity Blues just in general compared to yesterday. And both teams kind of trading off errors, so we'd like to see them settle into it a little bit more, as once again another serving error there from Nastase.
Now Hayden Cavender back to serve, 4th year middle. Here come the Lancers. Albert, blocked there by number 4, Davis Young. Albert's going to try again and fires over and no contact, so out of play for, or apologies, did touch U of T hands, so Zach Albert will serve it now. And that one's brought down, John Dunning.
Decent run there by Davis in the middle.
Now he'll head back to serve. Lancers organize here as that one's brought down.
Just paints the sidelines there. Would really like to see the Lancers engage Bridges Hunter a little bit more.
Here he is on the serve. Serving at 9-10. Good serve. Davis Young elects to go to Falardo, who brings it down.
Big swing there from Falardo on the right side. One of his first big ones of the match. Such a good swing by the veteran, and you know, this is his last kick of the can. This is the last few moments here at U Sports Volleyball, and he's going to want to take advantage of that as he puts in a nice swing from the baseline too.
That one off the block. Dig. Here come the Varsity Blues, and able to finish that point off. Hunter, Arul Pogazim.
Pogazim has done pretty good so far, settling in with a block and a kill in the early goings, halfway through here this first set.
So the Varsity Blues up 12-9 here on the serve. Evan Falardo. That one's going to go out of play.
A lot of missed serves here in the early goings of this match, and it's well known that the Burge is always a tough place to serve with the different air currents coming in. There's always a bit of a myth going on that whenever McMaster plays, they like to open a certain door that changes up the air currents as a Rupagazem knocks one down the line nicely there, as we'll see. Whew, what a swing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big body out on the left side over there.
Yep, standing at 6'6" from Abbotsford. As Nastase able to get the contact there.
Bit of miscommunication there between Newart and Cavender. Newart pulled his hands, Cavender did not.
Gustavo Siqueira, who was big in the semifinal game against UFT, 15 points, 11 kills, 8 digs. Too much air under that serve though.
More service errors from both of these teams, and I know that the coaches would like them to calm that down just a little bit.
Albert, Young was there. Another attack. Great dig there by Newart. Just floated over. 3-ball here. Abrams the first touch. Albert the last. Woo. And that one's going to hit off Hunter Rupagazem.
There we go, Zach Albert. That's kind of what I'm expecting from him on a consistent basis. Rupagazem is well within that attack line, that 4-to-4 shot, thumb down, cross court. Beautiful swing by Zach Albert.
Ivanovsky. Now serving at 12-14 as the 8 seed in front here. Back set and hammer time there, Mitchell Newart.
And once again, they're just giving so much area for Mitch Newart to swing that. And we know he loves to swing down the line. He's a righty on the right side. Davis Young does such a good job to give him that space, get it all the way to that gap, and that's a second one clean to swing. He's been able to swing down the line, something we didn't see at all yesterday, and that's a nice ace there by Rupagazem.
What a start for the second year. And timeout called here by James Gravel and the Windsor Lancers as they find themselves down 16-12 here.
Tough start for the Windsor Lancers, especially with U of T having a bit of a different lineup as a Rupagazem coming in. But I'm not entirely sure if they're just what they're doing, especially on the blocking side of things, as I talked about, just giving so much daylight for the U of T Varsity Blues to swing at.
And it was the Blues who jumped out to that first set win yesterday, a team that really always comes out ready to play, it seems.
They're well coached. I mean, John Barrett is a veteran, a leader from the '84 Olympic team, the best ever that Canada's had with that 4th place. He's also credited as the inventor of the jump serve. Not necessarily the inventor, but he's the man who started doing it consistently in international competitions for Team Canada. And you're right, you know, when he took over this U of T Varsity Blues program, they were not in a good state. Ed Drakic beforehand had kind of led them astray, and John Barrett has really brought them back to where this team should be as one of the premier programs in the OUA.
And they're going to lose some players over the offseason, but a team certainly on the rise and definitely going to challenge here again. 3 straight trips to the Final 8. Of course, 2019-2020 didn't end up happening, but qualified nevertheless. As we're back underway.
Yeah, I'm really going to be interested to see what happens with this U of T team once Daniel Tudor and Evan Falardo leave, because those are 2 of their big leaders, and I'm not entirely sure if they have someone who's like Falardo who's going to be able to step up and fill that hole. So it's going to be definitely a different looking U of T team next season.
Young gonna set up Falardo right into that block. Bridges Hunter was there on the block. Albert finishes that one off.
You see here once again on the replay, Albert just throwing that one into the block. Much better out of system situation than the little rolls that he was trying yesterday.
Luca Nastase, Oakville, Ontario native. Played with the Pac-Man 18U team, Team Ontario Elite, before coming over to the Lancers.
Ooh,
pretty
nice
play there.
Nice little run there by Davis Young to Cavender on the back set. Beautiful. It takes so much awareness as a setter to find your middle hitter, and it takes so much of a connection to be able to do that. Oh, this pass.
That was Albert on that first touch. Free ball here now for the Varsity Blues as that one's tapped into an open area. John Dunning.
That 4-point lead continues now for the Varsity Blues as they are fully in control here. And, you know, if they, right now, they must be maybe wishing a little bit that they had won that OUA semifinal and gotten another shot at Sherbrooke to redeem themselves from last year's championship.
That one finished off by Mitchell Newer. Back-to-back good serves from Cavender that's really made life difficult for Zach Albert, and back-to-back points. One off of that, another timeout called by James Gravel.
Yeah, that's already both of his timeouts here, and this is not the way this Windsor team has wanted to start this match. And generally these championships, this has not been a stellar performance from them, from a team that, you know, in my opinion, deserves to be here. They're definitely one of the more premier teams in the OUA this season. Of course, that does come with somewhat of an asterisk, is the way the OUA was set up. Not every team had to play each other. So the one of the teams that Windsor didn't get to play in the regular season was the McMaster Marauders. So they definitely missed out on some of that competition and playing against the best. But still, I do think that they're one of the better programs in the OUA. We just haven't seen it yet here yet in this tournament.
And in the regular season, the Varsity Blues won the first matchup January 20th, and then the next night, Windsor won in 5 sets. Both of those matches were in 5 sets, and then they met again in the OUA semifinals, as we mentioned. It was a 4-set win for the Lancers, and they meet again here. A much different story from that 4-set win for the Lancers a couple weeks ago, a game where they had 54 kills and much better hitting percentage, near 300. And they're going to improve that. It's going to come off the hands of Zach Albert, one might think.
Albert's been doing a lot better this match, and he's been definitely a bright point so far for the Windsor Lancers.
The Brampton, Ontario native on the serve here. Davis Young going to set up Falardo. And right up the block.
Beautiful swing there by Falardo, just using that block. He's playing with so much confidence right now, and I think he feels like he's the best player on the court right now, and I can't really disagree with him.
6th in the nation in kills per set in the regular season. As great hit there from Gustavo.
Bigger body in the back row there is a Rupajasm, unable to get there, but Gustavo Sequeiras, I'm really hoping to see a little bit more from him, you know. Get into the game offensively. He's not the strongest passer, not the strongest on defense, so they're going to need him to show up offensively.
Gustavo Sequeira, another player going to be returning for the Lancers next year. It'll be interesting to see what we see from him in his 3rd season, as that one just floated over. Oh, it's going to be ruled out there.
Falardo looking for the touch there. I didn't see it. We've got a pretty good view right here. I didn't see that, so I agree. I think that should be point Windsor.
Joshua Tanukas, who was lifelong friends with Stephen Abrams. the libero on this squad, but that serve finds the net. So a 21-17 advantage for the U of T varsity Blues. Consolation game number one, set number one.
They have not given up control of this match at any point. It's been all varsity Blues from the beginning.
Lardo.
Ooh. I thought that one was in.
It was close.
It was pretty close.
So Anthony DiGirolamo, who had 41 assists in that semifinal game against the varsity Blues.
Great pass.
Davis Young, back set right into the block.
You know what? That's what I've been talking about. When Albert's in the front row, he's been leaving that gap open down the line, and Sequeira there, really close to the line, moved all the way over. There was no daylight there for Mitch Newart to swing at, and ultimately ends up in a Windsor point. So hopefully Windsor is able to gain a little bit of momentum for that and be able to settle into their gameplay.
Now we see John Barrett call his first timeout here as the Lancers have closed this to a 2-point first set here. Playing a lot better in consolation game number one between these two sides. They've seen each other a lot. And you mentioned it's a different story with Windsor's not seeing McMaster until all the way into the OUA final. And these coaches know each other very well after seeing each other 3 times previous in this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that, John Barrett is such an established personality within the volleyball world from his time with the national team and all of that, and of course rebuilding this U of T program. And I definitely know that James Gravel relishes those opportunities to kind of go up against someone of Barrett's stature.
DiGirolamo on the serve. Good play there by Davis Young to get that ball for Newart. Resetting are the Lancers, and Gustavo Sequeira's there again.
Davis Young just completely whiffed on that ball on defense, and I'm not entirely sure. Can't really tell from that angle there if it got knocked off the block, but he just completely overran it and missed it.
So a few points won off the DiGirolamo serve here, 21-20 for the varsity Blues. This one's going to come over for a Rupa-Gazum and out of bounds.
Just like that, we're all tied up in this one, and a 4-point lead for the varsity Blues, and John Barrett is going to be forced to call a timeout now, as the Windsor Lancers are starting to feel themselves. It's only taken about a match and a half, but they're finally here to play.
Yep, tie game here in set number one. As leading the way for the Windsor Lancers, it's Zach Albert, 4 kills, but Gustavo Sequeira with 4 kills on 9 total attacks. He's been effective.
He has been. He's been looking a lot better, putting up some points here for the Windsor Lancers. Him and Sequeira and Zach Albert have both looked a lot better in this match, which is great news for if you're a Windsor Lancers fan.
And Zach Albert, someone who's real physically gifted, and despite not playing in quite some time between his time at Fanshawe and joining the Lancers, Gravel was not worried. He kept himself in great shape between that time, and they're in the need for an outside hitter with one of their big pieces graduating, with Dami Alade and Sean Spencer both graduating. They needed a new big piece, and Albert was that, and he's been real good through the regular season and stepping up in consolation game number one. We're back underway. Davis Young for Newart.
And now Newart's starting to use that block a little bit more. He's coming in a little bit more on an angle, not taking it so straight now that Sequeira has shifted his block over to the line. So I'm wondering if that's an adjustment that he made on it with himself and the setter Davis Young, or if that's information that's coming from John Barrett.
So this is Martin Licht plays with his brother on this team, Benedict Licht. As that one's going to be tapped over by Nastase. Davis Young right into that block, and a good time. Good play there by Ivanovsky on the block for Windsor.
Windsor is just keeping themselves in it with much better blocking. Oh, that's a tough one. Licht was right there to pick it up too, and unable to get the recycle off the block.
22 all here. Gustavo Sequeira on the serve. Gustavo had 15 points in the semifinal game against the Blues, but can't find the court here.
Another missed serve, and they've kind of settled into it a little bit. Was hoping we would see a little bit better serving, but haven't seen it quite yet.
Albert, big play.
And when Albert swings like that, he's aggressive, he's swinging high, he's swinging deep. That's almost an impossible shot to dig if you're Mitch Newert down the line, because you're going to be looking for it low, it's going at your face, and either you take it off the face or you move out of the way, hope it's out.
23 all here. Here come the Blues. Newert! Set point, Varsity Blues.
Let's see. On the C ball here, Newert goes a little bit more cross court on that one as he's recognizing they're blocking him down the line, so there's more opening on the cross.
Will Pergasm on set point finds the net.
Tough, especially when you're just up like that. You just want to put it in and let your team have a chance to play defense behind that serve.
So that'll send Luca Nastase, who had a service ace yesterday, to go along with an error against Sherbrooke. They're at 24 all. Nastase, heavy serve. Right over that block. That was Falardo on the hit. Albert taps it over. Great diving play there by Newert. And a blast from Falardo, kept alive by Abrams. Tapped over by Zach Albert. Blues regrouping again, and Falardo, but what a play by Abrams. Oh, and they can't recover after that.
Great defense there by Steven Abrams, keeping that rally alive a few times. You can see that miscommunication in the back row there by Rupert Gasm and Mitch Newert. Rupert Gasm was right there. He should have taken the ball. He just needed to let his boy know.
So now it is set point Windsor, and it's Luca Nastase on the serve. Nastase, Davis Young. Here come the Lancers. Albert, Davis Young, gonna set up Falardo. Oh, great diving play again, Abrams. Davis Young electing to go to Newert off the block. Falardo.
Great
Young,
here.
batted down. And Cavender fights off set point.
So great there by Hayden Cavender, and Davis Young. I don't even know how he threw that one down. He was so tight to the net, and he's not facing anywhere. A bit of a tip over that shoulder, but way to make it work there by Hayden Cavender.
So a set point come and gone for both sides, but that serve's going to go out of play, so that sets up set point for the Lancers again, and Zach Albert will come on to serve. Albert was third in the OUA in service aces per set, 10th in the country. And here he is on set point. Awkward first touch for the Varsity Blues as that's hammered down. There, big blast. Falardo fights off another set point. We're tied again at 26.
These teams, neither of them want to give an inch. They know just how important it is to win this first set. Let's see if Young can put it in a tough serve here.
That one just floats over the net, clipped it. And here comes that attack right into the block.
Mitch Newert, he's there and he's ready. And Sequeira continues to have some issues and just not coming in with a whole lot of intention is Sequeira on offense, as U of T Varsity Blues now have another set point.
Davis Young on the serve. Abrams, DiGirolamo dumps that one down. And John Barrett
looking for that net call. I'm going to say it was real tight. From here, it looked like DiGirolamo was on the net. The down ref didn't call it, though, as the head referee brings her over. So I don't think they're going to be coming back on this call. I would be very surprised. Oh, wow. Wow. Considering she didn't call it right off the bat, I wouldn't have expected her to come back on that. But just like that, we were going to have a U of T taking that first set.
Well, what a way to close out that first set. 28-26 is how the Varsity Blues get it done in consolation game number 1 over the Windsor Lancers. You're watching the 2023 U Sports Men's Volleyball Championships on CBC Sports. Live coverage continues. Set number 2 from the Burridge Gym coming up right after this.
We've got your back. Whether you're looking to achieve a healthy and happy lifestyle or an elite athlete looking for world-class recovery and injury rehab, we have you covered. Our passionate team will work with you to create a tailored recovery plan to fit any situation. Get back to being you. The David Braley Sport Medicine and Rehabilitation Center, where everyone is treated like a marauder.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
And we welcome you back inside the Burridge Gym, just about set for set number 2 between the Lancers and the U of T Varsity Blues, in a weird way to finish off that first set, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was dumped there by DiGirolamo. And, you know, I'm not entirely sure if it was clean. It looked a little bit dirty. It looked like he was on the net, but no call from either referees. And eventually they conferred after a bit of complaining. Not complaining, but, you know, John Barrett did bring his distaste to the situation. So it was an interesting call, but, I mean, not the first one. We did see that odd call on DiGirolamo yesterday where he was called for basically a balk by tossing the ball to himself, which was weird because it's something he had been doing not only all game but all year too, right? You don't just, as a player, you have your own serving tendencies and you have your own serving routine, and that's something he would do every single time. So that was one I had never seen, and it was an interesting way there to finish off that first set.
So some adversity here for the Lancers, and really it's what the tournament's all about when you're eliminated on the opening day. It's how you get better, how you improve, and some adversity that, you know, we get to see how they respond after that, and if they can come out and win their first set of this tournament.
Yeah, we just saw the head referee call over Evan Villardo to talk about Kieran McGovern, the assistant coach, or one of the assistant coaches for Toronto, was up on his feet at the end of that point. Oh, wow. Great digs there by the Varsity Blues.
Abrams, DiGirolamo, Albert hits the net. Dug out there by Sequeira. Albert will go again. And getting that one back on the Varsity Blues are Rupragazem. At the net, and that's going to be won by the Varsity Blues.
U of T just continues to scramble here. A great chase down there in the back row by Rupragazem. And that tight pass, just a missed opportunity by the Windsor Lancers. They get that free ball and couldn't get it over.
Villardo's 4th kill, and it puts his team up 1-0 here in the second set. Nastase.
There we go, Lucas Nastase having that opening and putting it down. Would like to see him be maybe a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more aggressive. We saw how aggressive guys like Canem and Yohan David were yesterday. Would like to see a little bit more of that from Nastase.
Just 1 kill in the opening set for Nastase. Is great dig out there by Abrams, and DiGirolamo just pushed that one down, and Davis Young got it back up. But
no net call on that one for DiGirolamo.
This tournament, we got to see some great liberos. Stephen Abrams, of course. McMaster has some great liberos as well. Matthew Ragosi, as Abrams keeps that one alive. Albert gets it back. Free ball here for the U of T Varsity Blues. Davis Young into the middle and brought back by Nastase on the dig. DiGirolamo. And here come the Varsity Blues again. Abram sends it back. Nastase sent back up by Davis Young. And right into that block. It was Villardo on the hit. Bridges Hunter kept back up by Davis Young. Oh, great diving play there by Tudor. Finished off, though, by the Windsor Lancers.
Nastase all over the place there on defense. As you can tell, Windsor has a little bit more confidence. Villardo's definitely going to want that back. Just put that ball over. No need to kind of try to chip it there. You know, it's funny, you talk about the liberos. I often find that sometimes the liberos are the best athletes on the team because of, you know, you need so much height in volleyball, so the bigger guys are obviously going to be playing in the front row. So the little guys who are the great athletes and the best players generally around the 14, 15, 16 age generally move to be in the libero position.
2 great battles at net between Newert, who will try it again into that triple block, bouncing around, and Stephen Abrams was on the ground. Otherwise, he might have had a chance on that ball.
Yeah, as I was just complimenting the libero, Stephen Abrams does one of the least athletic plays I've seen in a while. He dove way too early. The ball was still way on its way down, and he was on the ground. That's not one that we usually see from Abrams. I rate him very highly.
Villardo, serve clipped the net. Bridges Hunter, kept up by Tudor. Newert finishes it off. And if you had to pick one libero from this tournament, who might that be?
Oh man, that's so tough. You're so right. There's so many good ones. I really like Landon Curry from Alberta. Daniel Tudor has been fantastic all year. So has Stephen Abrams. Matthew Ragosi, you know, he had such a great showing last night with so many great digs as well. So there's so many different guys. And why am I blanking on the guy from Montreal right now?
Right,
he
was
fantastic.
Real good yesterday.
Yeah, Yacine Cassis.
Right, 104 digs throughout the regular season. 11th in the nation in digs per set is Cassis. That one's hammered down.
He's also, if I do believe, he was also the player of the year in the RSEQ, and so many good liberos have come out of that Montreal Carabin program. You know, thinking of Olivier Riopel as well, who's now on the bench with them. But yeah, Cassis, I thought, really kept them in the game so well last night against a tough and highly offensive Trinity Western Spartans team.
We'll get to see the Caravans later today against the Huskies.
Falardo. You know, in my opinion, Falardo is definitely the most offensively minded guy in this gym. He's so talented as we see him paint the line there on the pipe shot.
4-5 here, Albert.
You know, we've seen an interesting substitution here for the Windsor Lancers to start this second set. We see number 16, Stephen Carey, lining up in the middle. And Stephen Carey is actually quite a bit older than the rest of these guys, and was originally a McMaster Marauder, but unfortunately, in his 18U year of club volleyball, which is quite a while ago now, suffered a concussion and has been battling some concussion-like symptoms, some post-concussion syndrome for a number of years, and that's why we see him wearing that headband like he is right now. But you know what? I'm so happy for him, the guy from the Ottawa Fusion Volleyball Club in the nation's capital, just to be able to come back out here and play volleyball. It's so great for a guy that has struggled so long with his health and mental health.
Nastase right into that block, but yeah, it's great to see Carey out there, the Ottawa, Ontario native. Coach Gravel says he has a real good, solid understanding of the game, which is really important out there, and good jumper, strong at the net, and good to see him into the action right here. It's 6-all, and the Lancers are on the serve.
Yeah, I mean, Carey's a player who, you know, had he played his normal 5 years, would have already graduated. He would have graduated in about 2020. So the fact that he's here and now and still playing is just really great to see.
Hunter Arul Pergasm, who drew into today's game with the injury to Talisma. Albert on the blast.
Ooh. Not entirely sure what happened there on the U of T block, as Cavender stayed down and just created a broken blocking situation for the Varsity Blues, and definitely not what you want to do against the first team OUA All-Star in Zach Albert.
Kill number 8 for Zach Albert. And this is Stephen Carey serving at 7-all. And that one blocked. It was Bridges Hunter at the net.
Yeah, I think able to bring that one through, though, was Cavender, as he just pushed it through down underneath the block of Bridges Hunter. And when you're as high as Bridges Hunter is, he's only 6'5", but he jumps really, really well. There's always going to be that gap between your arms and the net.
Davis Young back set, and Newer with the hit. They're able to finish that point off, and now it's a 9-7 advantage.
Tough blocking assignment for Zach Albert. He has to help on the middle ball, has to be aware of the setter dump, but also has to stay aware of the C ball as well. We just see him getting a little bit late, and a veteran like Mitch Newer is just going to use that floating block all day long.
Cavender on the serve, Bridges Hunter.
There we go. We talked about it. He's a high flyer. Ramo able to find him on that 31 run. Just such a great swing, and the seam between 5 and 6.
Nastase now serving at 8-9. Second set. Lancers dropped the opening set. Whew. As that one's gonna fall in. Hot shot and an ace for Nastase.
There we go. Nastase. That's really what I want to see from him. A little bit of power, a little bit of aggression. Oh, I know that he was such a dynamic middle playing for the Packard Volleyball Club. Originally came here as a middle, has moved to the opposite. And really, we just haven't seen that power from him all throughout that tournament. That's 2 good serves in a row here by Nastase on the right side.
Albert. Oh, good hit there. That one's brought down.
Setter kill. Let's go. Once again, no net call on that one. Girolamo.
Right.
Always got to give kudos to the setter kills. Usually they're the guys that put it up to put it down, and whenever they get a chance, you know they're always excited to get the kill.
They like to have their moment too.
Absolutely. I was a setter myself in college, and whenever you get set that ball, your eyes kind of light up. Sometimes you even get a little too excited, but he stayed really composed on that one.
Albert has to just float that one back in. Oh, my goodness, a big blast, Falardo.
That was a man swing there by Evan Falardo, as Nastase had to protect the family jewels a little bit. That one was coming quickly.
Back to 10-all. We go back and forth here in the second. Davis Young, the setter, on to serve. Girolamo. Oh, Falardo. Too tall.
And that's such a great read there. And Girolamo has shown that he likes to dump tight situations. It's in the front row. Such a good read by Falardo on his blocking assignment.
Ball rolled into the court, so Davis Young will be ready to serve again here. That one.
Tight.
Oh, Bridges Hunter rising up.
Girolamo's a nice big setter going up to get that nice one-handed dish to the flying Hawaiian. That's the advantage of having that tall setter who's able to go up and contest with balls when they're nice and tight like that.
Zach Albert, good server here, and that's a good serve. Kept up by Davis Young, and it's going to be ruled Windsor point.
Funny, Falardo came down acting like he had won that one, but he's right there underneath the head referee. He clearly saw it come right back off of him.
Albert to serve again.
Ooh, hybrid.
Davis Young back set. Touched over by Falardo. Great job by Abrams. Sends that one right back. Oh, and brought down Falardo.
Yeah, Falardo really shook up Abrams by hiding the tip, looking like he was going to go short, then pushing it long. Abrams was charging in, and all he could do was jab that arm up to keep it over, and Falardo's not going to get stopped twice on a shot like that.
And that one finds the net.
Windsor here with a 2-point lead. Kind of one of the first times that we've been able to see that.
Much higher percentage here in this second set.
Yep.
333 here in the second compared to 216 in the first for Windsor.
I'm not actually sure if it's actually a 2-point lead for Windsor, because Coach James Gravel just came over and was yelling nicely at the U of T bench to ask if the score should actually be 12-11 right now as the referees talked about. So it should actually be 13-11 on the in-house scoreboard here. As we're seeing John Barrett come and talk to Scott Divrich. To be honest, I probably just butchered his last name. I've known him for so long, and I just call him Scott because there's a D's and W's and Z's in there, and we don't have it in front of us, and there's no pronunciation guide for the referees, unfortunately.
Well, maybe next year.
That's interesting, because it was actually the head coach of the Windsor Lancers who thought that the score should be 13-11. I know he's actually saying you guys should have 12 to the Varsity Blues. It should be 14-12. That's what, there we go. We got that change up there. Yeah, 14-12. So kudos to Coach of the Year, James Gravel, for noticing that.
Yep.
Personally, maybe this says a little thing, something to my character. If I get that extra point in a national championship, I'm not saying anything.
Yep, I'm the same way.
In the regular season, absolutely. I had a coach in high school, and he says, boys, in the regular season, we're going to call all our own touches. So then all the referees are going to think that we're an honest team. And once we get to the playoffs, you don't say anything.
That's thinking ahead.
Absolutely,
That's real smart thinking. And of course, volleyball, a game of honor when you're playing, coming up the ranks. A lot of it's calling your own lines and great sportsmanship from, like you mentioned, the OUA Coach of the Year, U Sports Coach of the Year.
Yeah. No Hawkeye here for the OUA Championships. No challenge system.
No oblong shapes here.
Waiting for that ball to compress on the lines. We saw a great serve there by Bridges Hunter. And it forces the Varsity Blues to call a timeout. But I mean, it would be nice to have a challenge system. It just costs a lot of money. You need a lot of video cameras around the gym, watching every single line, tracking the ball at every point. So I don't think volleyball is really at that point yet in terms of budget.
Well, if you had the choice, would you want to keep the human element? I know with tennis, like there's always the decision in baseball with robotic umps and robotic line judges. Where do you kind of fall on the debate?
You know, it's tough because I'm not entirely sure. Personally, as someone who likes doing media around the game and likes shooting, you know, taking a lot of video, absolutely, get the lines people out of there. They're always in my way. They're always in my line of sight. Right. But, you know, I do respect what they do, and I think there is a human element there. And what's so good about volleyball is that it's very black and white a lot of the times. Before that, I think there's other calls that I would take out the game. You know, I'd take out the net call entirely, or at least, you know, just no leaning on the net or using it for support. But so many times we see rallies get finished by like phantom net calls or be getting touched by the littlest amount. And then might also take away the double contact on the set. Because in general, if there's going to be a double contact, you're already going to be losing that opportunity anyways. It's going to result in a worse set. So that double contact is, you know, just once again, just let the boys play.
Yeah.
No one wants to see the play end by a rogue whistle. Everyone wants to see the play end by a big kill, a big block, something like that.
Oh, Bridges Hunter got there, kept alive, DiGirolamo, but that third touch not going to make it over the net for Nastase.
DiGirolamo jumped up, realized it was too high, came down, turned, still got the touch, but unfortunately wasn't able to direct it back to his team well enough. As once again, the same thing as we saw yesterday, U of T is so good at responding positively out of a timeout.
Right. So here they are serving at 13-15. Martin Licht, silver with the 18U Canada Beach Volleyball team. That one's going to be point one for Point Windsor as they stretch their lead back to 3.
Stephen Carey there getting a good swing. Love to see that. Used to be the teammate of Prime Minister Stephen Harper's son, Ben Harper.
Wow. Very interesting little tidbit there, but that one's going to go out of bounds for DiGirolamo. (16-14) Windsor in front. Newart on the serve. Good serve. DiGirolamo and brought down there. Stephen Carey.
Stephen Carey, 2 kills in a row. Love to see it, as Windsor has been comfortably in control of this second set. You know what? I think we've seen these two teams go to 5 so many times here this season. I think all 3 times I've actually gone to 5, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that once again this afternoon.
That one is going to be ruled just in. That was Hunter Rule-Pergasm finding the line. Now he'll head back to serve. 5th point for him.
Once again, Sekera in the back row, just a step behind. I'd love to see him just be a little bit more dynamic and make some digs in the back row here for this Windsor Lancers squad.
Rule-Pergasm can't find the over the net. Stephen Carey now, after 2 big kills, will come on to serve. Poor first touch, and Falardo will just have to float that one over. DiGirolamo bridges Hunter.
Tough there one there by Tudor, as we see DiGirolamo just dishing that one up. You know, if I'm Falardo there, I need to recognize that Nastase took that first ball. DiGirolamo's coming in late, and that he needs to get up and put some hands in the face there, as Daniel Tudor was in position, but unfortunately he pretty much caught the ball instead of getting it under and up.
John Barrett calls a timeout here as this Set is starting to slip away as Windsor is just being in front all set, it seems, as you mentioned, and a much better second set in their second game of the tournament here.
Yeah, absolutely, but we did see U of T leading in the same juncture of the last set, 19-15, and Windsor was able to come back and tie things up at 21s apiece, so it'll be interesting to see if the U of T Varsity Blues can do the same thing here. As we just talked about, they do such a good job of answering coming out of the timeout. So let's see if they can string together a few points to get themselves back into this one and potentially challenge for this second set.
Consolation game number 1. The 8th seed against the number 5 seed. OUA bronze medalist against the silver medalist, UFT in Windsor. It was Windsor who won the OUA semifinals over the Blues. Windsor's going to find the net for carry.
So once again, U of T with the point coming out of the timeout. It is a coach's point, however. That's what we call when it's a missed serve after a timeout. Right in the pocket there for John Barrett.
So it's Cavender now. 3 points on the day for him. Bridges Hunter. Not enough on that one. Albert. Villardo. Davis Young. Back set. Newark.
It's 2 straight points there for the Varsity Blues as we see Davis Young getting that 1-on-0 there for Mitch Newark. And, you know, Diesel Ramos been the guy dumping, not Davis Young, so I'm not entirely sure why Zach Albert is going up with him in transition like that.
And the Lancers respond. Bridges Hunter, not enough on that one again as Abrams finds Nastase. Kept up. Davis Young. Villardo right into that Nastase block, and it's able to find its way in.
Cavender just caught watching. You know, and we're seeing John Barrett kind of signal to Villardo, like, hey, get that one up. We want it to go up off the block, not down. But Cavender's still not picking up on his covering assignment there, but that's kind of what you expect from a middle.
Nastase on the serve. Back for Newark. Nice touch, and Abrams nearly got there.
Doesn't matter, though, as Zach Albert was caught in the net. Like, no, sorry. It was actually Bridges Hunter, as now James Gravel is forced to call a timeout, and he's starting to feel things unravel a little bit with a few bad errors as the Varsity Blues have pulled in within 2. So very much like what we saw from the first set.
Yep, 3 out of 4 points for John Barrett out of the timeout, and he mentioned his experience and how he's one of the better coaches in the OUA. So much experience beyond that bench, and such a great tactician as well.
Absolutely, he just knows the game so much. He just oozes that confidence at all times, and it really, you know, goes into his team.
Right.
Sorry, forgot my words there. So wouldn't be surprised if we see the Varsity Blues come back, and we saw it so many times yesterday in the quarterfinal against Alberta as well, where they were able to, you know, fall behind and pull back. And nothing against the Windsor Lancers, but you know, the Alberta Golden Bears is a bit better of a team. So
right. Bears will take on Sherbrooke tonight.
It's interesting. I'm looking up in the stands. I'm seeing national team assistant coach and B team head coach Dan Lewis watching on intently. So I'm wondering if there's any players on these 2 teams that he's looking to potentially give an invite to go spend some time in Gatineau this summer.
Right.
You see a big swing there by Windsor. Now it's their turn to get a good point out of the timeout.
Exactly. Nastase finishing that one off, and here comes Zach Albert on the serve. Newark off the hands.
We've also seen a substitution here for the Varsity Blues. I believe that's Benedict Licht coming in.
You saw his brother Martin, and it's a family affair with the Varsity Blues. Anna Licht, Johan Licht, Martin Licht, Benedict Licht, Martin and Benedict both playing for the Varsity Blues, but all 4 of them volleyball players, as that serve's going to find the net.
Just a killer there for Falardo.
Lancers 3 points away from the second set.
You want to see a guy like Falardo come into this match, and especially late into the set, when you're trailing by 2, put a little bit of pressure on, at least get 1 steal when he's at the baseline, or at least have to make them make a play.
Marcus Lahis out of bounds.
That's tough. Once again, coming in as a serving sub, you have 1 job. That's to get the serve in. Unfortunately, not able to get it done there was Lahis, son of bronze medalist from the '96 Olympics, Mark Hees in beach volleyball.
Mark, an analyst for CBC Sports as well, as that one finds the block. Gustavo Sequeira will have to just pass it over this time. And that one able to be finished off by Hayden Cavender.
Stephen Carey looking off, a little bit dejected. He thought he should have had that one, thought he had him wrapped. But Cavender up to the task there as the Varsity Blues just trail by 1.
Coming back, DiGirolamo, Nastase floats it over. Free ball here for the Varsity Blues. Newart, Nastase kept it up. Floating it over again is Gustavo Sequeira. Davis Young for Falardo. Good block there by the Lancers. Another big block. Davis Young for Newart, kept up by Nastase. And that one finished off. Gustavo Sequeira would not be denied.
So many opportunities there for the Varsity Blues to even it up, but the Windsor Lancers were up to the task, and finally Sequeira putting that one off the block and out of bounds, and they are in control here, up by 2, and just 2 points away from evening this thing up at 1 set apiece.
Big serve here for the Windsor Lancers and DiGirolamo. Davis Young, and finding that opening there, a big time blast for number 15, Connor Vanderkreep.
Oh, that was my bad. I did call him Benedict Licht earlier. Licht is number 9, so I apologize, but Vanderkreep coming in with his first swing is a big one. And now we're seeing that timeout here for the Windsor Lancers, and might have been a little premature. I would like to see I would like to have confidence in my team that they're just going to be able to go out there and change things up. So hopefully James Gravel has something specifically tactically that he wants to see his team change and try to take it here from this one. But yeah, I don't know. It might be a little premature on the timeout call there by James Gravel.
Yeah, always an interesting discussion when you take a timeout, and especially in environments like that where there's so much on the line, but you also want your team to learn how to battle through difficult situations and problem solve. And here he takes the timeout, 23-22, his team in front.
Also, just because, it's like they haven't lost multiple points in a row.
Right.
You want to give them the confidence, to say like, hey, we've got this. But now they want to change something. Maybe there's a tactical thing as Davis Young comes to the front row and there's only 2 attackers.
Dangerous server here. That one, Stephen Carey.
Stephen Carey, you know what? He may be a little bit older, but he has not lost a step. He's still got that high-flying attitude like he's always had. Does such a great job on that one, giving the Lancers set point.
A chance to draw even here for the team from Windsor, and it's going to be Josh Tamukis, the Georgetown, Ontario native, on to serve. Set point Lancers.
And that one is going to be long. Once again, as a serving sub, you have 1 job. You got 1 job. Put the ball in play with a little bit of pressure, but then again, it's such a difficult position to be in. You've been off the court, you haven't been touching the ball, you're a little bit cold.
So Connor Vanderkreep, St. Catharines native, playing not too far from home. DiGirolamo, Albert, kept up by Tudor and the Blues, right into the block. It's Stephen Carey, and set number 2 for the Lancers.
Gotta love Stephen Carey's reaction after that one. Closes the block well, good penetration, and just puts his arms up like, hey guys, this is standard practice for me. Y'all should know.
What a moment for Stephen Carey. Finishes it off in the second set. 25-23 is how the Lancers get it done over the Varsity Blues. Third set coming up from the U Sports Men's Volleyball National Championships on CBC Sports. In the conference playoffs, then they meet here in Consolation game number 1, and so far through 2 we're split 1 set apiece. Windsor doing much better in that second set. It's finished off a block by Stephen Carey, hitting the ball at a much better clip in that second set were the Lancers. 333, 16 kills, 2 errors on 42 total attacks, compared to a 216 percentage in that first set. UFT pretty consistent throughout the way. 231 in the first, 275 in the second. So 28-26 is how the first set finished. A bit of a weird play as setter for the Windsor Lancers, Anthony DiGirolamo, thought he had tied it back up at 27 all. That's how it was originally ruled. And then John Barrett went on the court and said he thought might have saw DiGirolamo touch the net, so it was ruled Toronto point after the 2 referees discussed. And it was the Varsity Blues taking that first set 28-26. And then in the second, a good response from the Windsor Lancers to take it 25-23. So we're just about set for the third set, evenly split between the 2. A set between the Windsor Lancers and the UFT Varsity Blues. Matthew Davison alongside Everett DeLorme for the call of this one. And what are you expecting to see in this third set?
Well, now that Windsor's kind of back into this one, they finally won their first set of the tournament. I'm really the pace of this one has just been a little. They've just been kind of moseying along. We saw so much more pace and so much more intention from the Varsity Blues yesterday, and we're expecting a little bit more from the Windsor Lancers. Having seen some of the video from their OUA semifinal, I know these are 2 teams that can really go at each other. We haven't really seen it much, although that serve there from Albert to get us going was real good, and same thing with the swing from Mitch Newert.
Mitch Newert, 13 kills in this one, make it 14 now, as he's been a big part of the Varsity Blues' success in this one. 14 kills on 26 total attacks, just 1 error. Hitting percentage of .500 as the Lancers look to respond here. Gustavo Sequeira sends it over. It's going to be set up for Newert. Nastase, DiGirolamo, Bridges Hunter. Sent back by the middle for UFT and finished off by Mitchell Newert, rising high.
Yeah, tight set there as Sequeira, Newert, and Kavanagh all come together. It was Dunning in the middle. And not only did Sequeira get shut down, but he also was in the net.
So first 2 points go the Varsity Blues way on Davis Young's serve.
Oh, as you see the grimace there on Dunning's face as he didn't seal that block, and as his arms came down, he threw it down underneath him. Yeah, just like that. Needs to get his feet a little bit closer and penetrate with those arms.
So Bridges Hunter now serving at 1-2. We're in the third set. Finds the net. You mentioned Dunning, middle for the U of T Varsity Blues. Stephen Carey for the Lancers made an impact in that second set, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. 4 points, 3 kills, and the block to finish it off. So he was subbed in for Ivanovsky.
Oh, Albert, but a violation there.
Yeah. And personally, I would have given it, if I was DiGirolamo, I would have loved to given it to Stephen Carey. He was coming in with so much pace, and you really want to establish your middles early in the sets. The only way that pipe works is if you establish the middle first.
Out of bounds, so Windsor back on the board. DiGirolamo to serve. Hear that a lot, trying to get your middles involved early. Take me through why that's so important.
Well, the middle is your first tempo of attack, right? It's the first opportunity. It's your first tempo attack because they're going to be closest to the setter, and that set is the lowest set that you have in the offense. So the middle attack is the first thing that the defense is going to key in on. So, and the opposing middle, that's their duty, that's their job. So if you can establish that middle and you make the opposing blockers really respect your middles, oh, that's a big block there by Nastase. But just like that one, we saw the 2 blocks on the outside because they knew that the middle wasn't really going to be there. So once you're able to really make the other team respect your middle, then it's just going to open things up. Whereas if you can't establish them, if your passing isn't good enough, the other team's blockers is not going to even pay attention at all and just know that they have to go to the wings after that. It's kind of the same as in football. If you don't establish your run game, everyone knows you're going to throw it.
Right.
Toronto here with an early 6-3 lead.
Give the point and the ball right back to the Lancers, though, as Stephen Carey will head back to line off the service error from Newart. 6-4, Blues in front.
Both teams trading missed serves there. In general, the rule of thumb in general is you don't want to miss a serve after a missed serve. So whether that's on your own team or the other side, you want to try to keep that momentum going. It's a little bit different when you're serving aggressively with hard spin serves, but right now we're mostly just seeing float serves. You should be getting a float serve in 85-90% of the time.
Right, a little bit easier to swallow when you also mix in the aces.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not seeing that tonight.
No, not at all.
Or today, rather.
As we're seeing both teams serve to error ratio from the baseline, 2 aces to 13 errors for U of T and 2 aces to 15 errors for the Windsor Lancers. That's a big swing there by Hayden Cavender in the middle.
5th point for Cavender. 8-5, the 8th seed in front. Over the 5 seed. DiGirolamo. From the back, it was Nastase.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. That's why I hate that call, right? Ball went off of Falardo's block. You can keep the ball, the play going, have more volleyball, set it up for the defense, but instead we have the whistle just because the net's moving a little bit.
Here's Albert on the serve. Davis Young gonna set up Newart. Great job by Abrams to get that back up, but
again,
another one.
Again.
And that great dig by Stephen Abrams does not matter as
Julian Jewin now coming in for the game for Windsor in place of Bridges Hunter. So both of the Windsor middles have been subbed out. We saw Jewin come in yesterday, really bring in a good energy and just have an impact immediately.
Oh, Newark. Good dig out there by Albert. Nastase.
Great dig.
Wow. Effective from Tudor. And that is Newark again.
You know, Newark's a guy that we haven't really seen too much off-speed stuff. He loves to challenge the block. He loves to go right at it. But that time, that block was way inside. Abrams was way inside. And with all of his beach experience, he knows how to go thumb down just right to the tee.
Davis Young on the serve here. Lancers end up going with Gustavus again on Newark.
The Kong block. Let's go.
Mitchell Newark, 17 points, and it's an 11-6 advantage for the Varsity Blues. James Gravel calls a timeout.
Yeah, now it's 18 for number 17, but that one was beautiful. The set was a little tight. We saw it on the replay there. I didn't think it didn't look as tight as it did originally from our angle, but Newark just went up, didn't even go with two hands, just went with the one. We call that the Kong block, kind of like King Kong holding on to the Empire State Building.
Davis Young, 30 assists, doing a good job of finding the right weapon all night tonight, and that's been Davis Young a lot of the times.
And you know what? Other than Evan Filardo, who has 7 kills and 6 errors, the efficiency in general for the U of T Varsity Blues has been so high. Mitch Newark, 17 for 31, hitting a 4.84 right now. That's an international level efficiency at the moment.
Yeah.
That's even higher than international. That's fantastic out there for Mitch Newark.
And if you're the Lancers, what kind of adjustments are you looking to make as this third set is starting to get away from you, 11-6?
You know what? Definitely on Newark, I want to see that block kind of go to the line. I know it's tough with him because when you leave that line open, he's able to kill it down the line. When you block it, he's able to wipe it off. But me block him off. But I don't know if there's that many tactical adjustments that they can make. Although that man right there, Julian Jewin, definitely bringing in a spark. But so far, they're just not playing with that much intensity. And you know, like to me, like they need to prove that they belong here. And unfortunately, if they lose this match, they don't get that other opportunity, right? There's no 7-8 match here at the National Championships. If you lose today, you're done. And that's not something that the Windsor Lancers want to do, as they want to establish themselves as one of the top teams in the OUA and one of the best teams in U Sports.
Carey was there on the block, but not this time, as that one's brought down by John Dunning.
Great swing there by Dunning. And once again, just like we saw from Cavender earlier, I don't know where they're finding these angles from. He's closed off to that one side, but just able to push it over his shoulder and down. Great awareness there by Davis Young to set it up for his middle.
Great block there by DiGirolamo, and finished off by Mitchell Newark.
Newark just continues to be so good, and the block by Carey gets used a little bit as Newark swings in high and hard.
13-7, Varsity Blues in front, but a service ace, or error rather.
Now DiGirolamo goes to the back row. Windsor is going to have 3 attackers in the front. Let's see if they can use this here.
DiGirolamo, Windsor was the only school that recruited him out of high school, and easy decision for him to come over. Oh, brought down Filardo.
Filardo, just we said, hasn't been having the greatest game, but he's getting better here in the third set. He's 9 for 25 with 6 errors, but that was a big swing coming out of the back row, and you could feel that all around this gym.
So Martin Licht comes back in to serve it for the Varsity Blues. 14-8, they're in front. Dug out there by Abrams. Stephen Carey.
Stephen Carey floats so well, and he's so tall. He's able to go up and pick his shot just right, like we see there. He notices that open court in the back in one and just puts it in there nicely.
Let's see if the Lancers can crawl back into this third. As the serve from Gustavo Sequeira finds the net.
Sequeira has really struggled throughout this championship so far. He is leading the Lancers in points with 9.
Good first serve. DiGirolamo for Carey. Hammer time.
Carey. That was unbelievable. Just climbing the ladder on that one.
Wow.
And you know what? I think U of T, if Windsor's going to win, they need to do it through the middle. Both Druin and Carey are bringing a little bit more energy to this team right now, both blocking and offensively. And here's another opportunity now for the Windsor Lancers to set the middle, and they do.
Oh, Juan got it. Falardo with the stab, and it's sent back over. Nastase, Juan! There was the middle. Cavender to reject him. Joust at the net. Davis. Juan was there to reject Falardo. Big hit, even better block. Nastase was there for Windsor. Sent back over. Free ball now for the Lancers. Albert, kept up by Tudor, and then Falardo got it back. Diving there is Sequeira. Juan into the block, but it's going to be Windsor point. What a rally.
Absolutely, and just like I said, Windsor needs to start targeting their middles. They're coming in, and it's just going to open up everything else for them. That was a fantastic rally on either side. Great defense from the Varsity Blues, but ultimately Windsor was able to grab that point.
Stephen Carey stays on to serve here. Brought down. Big hit, Cavender.
And Davis Young is just like, yep, hey, you guys are going to play in the middle? Well, so will we.
Connor Vanderkeep, St. Catharines native, 16-11. His team in front. Can't find get it over the net.
Vanderkeep has been pretty quiet since coming in, but looks like he's just expected there to solidify the serve, receive, and play some good defense in the back row. As you know what, Varsity Blues are just going to continue giving it to their hot hand in Mitch Newert. And Evan Falardo also has been having a much better third set here.
Here he is again. Nifty little hit there as it comes around for Albert. Into the block. Davis gets it back. Falardo!
You can kind of see James Gravel there scratching his head. Well, I'd love to see a dig from the big Brazilian in the back row, Sequeira.
5-point advantage restored here for the Varsity Blues.
Woo! That's in there.
Gonna float in. Wow, service ace.
That's that Burridge current coming in. That one was looking long. It was high, and just at the last moment it dropped. And you know, sometimes the float serve can be a little bit more effective than the spin serve, especially with this Mikasa ball. It just moves so much. But a nice little hybrid there by Cavender.
Nastase. Point for the Varsity Blues. Gravel and Stephen Abrams talking with the referee, but...
Yeah, the one-lines person on the same side as the referee called the touch. Head ref was going to call her over to have a little discussion. Ultimately, it is the head ref's call. But the ball moves so fast. You know, they're hitting the ball around 100 kilometers an hour in offense. And let's see what call he makes. And he's going to overturn his original call.
So we saw that call go against the Lancers in that first set on set point. Anthony DiGirolamo's dump was ruled a violation, and now we get a call that goes against the Varsity Blues, but a bit of a different time in the set.
Yeah, different situation too. The lines person did call it over there, and you know what, having been around this game a little bit in Ontario and coached a bit, she's one of the few that I don't think I've yelled at before, so I respect her calls.
Nice. Well, that's a good barometer.
Although I've done a lot in this game, but refereeing is not one of them. So I can never be I can even sometimes when I'm editing my video be like, oh, I think that was in, and I'll slow it down and be like, oh, I was wrong on that.
Right.
So.
All right, so Davis Young here on the serve. DiGirolamo back set Nastase. Dug out there by Young. Tudor, got to get it over. Falardo! Abrams was there, and then Nastase. Juwan has to get it over. Here come the Varsity Blues, and Newart off the block. Albert sets it back up. DiGirolamo. They had to just send it back over with Albert. Falardo. Albert keeps it up. It's going to come back for Nastase. Floats that one over. Look out for Newart. And he finishes off that point. Juwan was there, but just not enough.
Yeah, Newart has just been so damn good this game, and he sees a little daylight between the two blockers, and you know he's going to swing. Like when you're swinging towards the side of that inside blocker's arm, it's almost automatic, and Newart has such good control. He's able to hit it so much, forcing James Gravel to call a timeout as the Windsor Lancers here trail by 7.
Yeah, a much different story from what we saw in the first and second set, but it was a 4-point advantage at a point midway through both those sets at 19-15, 19-15. So we'll see if James Gravel can draw something up and try and get his team back into this one, but a 7-point deficit, hard to come back from.
Yeah. And at this point, it's not even draw something up. Like, there's no clipboard out there. He's not talking about anything tactical. It's all emotional and technical, right? And volleyball is just such a game of not even inches, of centimeters, right? If you don't penetrate just a little bit, you may not get the block. And if you're not completely aware or on it in seconds, you know, it's so precise. And if you're not emotionally up for it, you can't be there. So right now it's just all emotional with Coach Gravel, because they need to get themselves emotionally in this game, which they haven't been in the third set.
So Davis Young with his team just 5 points away from going 2-1 up over the Lancers. DiGirolamo for Juwan, and net touch.
Yeah, not a net touch on that one, but with DiGirolamo being a back row setter, Evan Falardo reaching over and interfering in that set, which is a no-no.
So 6-point advantage now as Juwan will come on to serve. We saw 2 service errors from him yesterday and dialed it back for his first serve, and here on the second commits the error.
Just so many serving errors for both teams in this match.
This one from Falardo, DiGirolamo, Albert, and that one's going to be UFG point out of bounds.
And at this point, U of T is just in cruise control mode here in this set. Up by 8. Let's see what Falardo can do from the baseline.
Good serve, DiGirolamo looking for Carey into the block. They'll set it up again. Carey this time brings it down.
Stephen Carey has really injected so much energy offensively for this Windsor Lancers lineup, and they just need to be a little bit better in serve receive, get that ball to the net so they can open things up for their middles. The further the setter is away from the net, the harder it is to set that middle.
DiGirolamo, high toss, heavy serve. Davis Young sends it back. And here come the Lancers. Sekera right into that triple block. We're going to go to Nastase, who gets the contact.
Nastase with a nice little chippy off the hands. But still that 6-point deficit here for the Windsor Lancers. I am liking the pace that DiGirolamo is bringing from the baseline, though.
(22-16). It's going to go out of bounds. 23-16 now for the Varsity Blues.
Yeah, they're just chipping away slowly, point by point here to take this first set, or third set, sorry.
John Dunning now, whose mom Tara played with McMaster 1989 and 1992. So that one's going to go out of play, so that'll set up set point here in the third for the Varsity Blues. DiGirolamo, Sequeira, kept up by Carey. DiGirolamo for Nastase. Oh, what a play there. That was Dunny getting under it.
Middle digs, love it.
Here's Carey setting up Nastase. Flipped it over. Davis Young right into that block. Gustavo was there to reject Vanderkweep. That's going to be Windsor point.
I thought Newark could go get that one, but opted not to. I mean, they are leading by 7 here.
So Sequeira here down set point again. Gallardo and bringing it down. Mitchell Newark, and set number 3 to the Varsity Blues. 25-17 is how they get it done.
So impressed there by Mitch Newark on that backdoor shot. He has almost no room at all between the block of Zach Albert and the outside, but it's just those small plays like that. We see Albert just going somewhat slowly to the outside. He's not max jumping. You can tell that emotionally he had kind of already given up on this set.
All right, fourth set coming up on CBC Sports from McMaster.
This season, catch the best in Atlantic University sport excitement at home or on the go with AUS TV. Soccer, rugby, football, volleyball, hockey, basketball, and more. Tune in at AUSTV.ca. All your favorite university teams showcasing their talents in one place. AUS TV, powered by Bell Alliance. They bring it to the court. They bring it to the field. They bring it to the ice. And now they bring it to you. Presented by Subway, the official fuel of Atlantic University sport.
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
And we're back here at the U Sports Men's National Championships. Consolation match number 2. This is Everett Lorum. Matthew Davidson is just taking a quick little bathroom break as we get ready here for set number 4. Looking at the stats here, the UT Varsity Blues dominated that third set, taking it 25-17. And Evan Filardo really picked things up. He went from being with 7 kills all the way to 11 kills with no errors either. A great job there by Filardo to really get things going there for the U of T Varsity Blues, and adding him to the offensive output alongside Mitch Newark really helped take things in control for the Varsity Blues. But on the other side, for the Windsor Lancers, they need to figure out how to get their outsides involved, as Zach Albert sits at only 8 points and only 9 for Sequeira.
Yeah, it was Bridges Hunter who started off really hot in the first set. Haven't seen a lot of him as this match has gone along.
Yeah, well, he got subbed out there later on for Julian June, who came in and made an impact. But the one bright spot so far has been Stephen Carey, who's come in off the bench. He's swinging a 5.56, going 6 for 9 so far with 9 points. So the Windsor Lancers, as we see here, they have made a substitution. Sequeira is out. Koski is in. They're just settle down that serve receive a little bit and help them release the middles a little bit more.
Koski from Winnipeg. subbing for the Lancers, and
son of former national team setter Scott Koski.
We're just about set for the fourth here from the Birds Gym in Hamilton. As Stephen Carey gets that one over. And here come the Blues as Falardo finds the space.
Falardo picked up where he left off, 4 kills in the last set with no errors. He was really slow through sets 1 and 2. He was putting up good numbers, but also just making a lot of errors.
Someone who wants to finish off his U Sports career with a bang as Stephen Carey right into that UFT block. They'll try it again. That poor set for Albert. Teacher Alamo will try it again, and Albert brings it down, and he's fired up.
Yeah, Zach Albert really needed that because he had no kills last set and a couple of errors. 2 errors on 5 swings, no kills, so he really needed to get going here early. So the fact that he scores that first point for Windsor is fantastic. You know, speaking of Falardo, not only is it important to finish off your U Sports career strongly, but you know, he's a guy who's looking at playing professionally next year, and this is a time when, you know, I know that certain agents from the professional ranks come to U Sports Nationals. They've been doing that for the past decade or so, just to see some of the top talent. You know, thinking of Stephen Marr, he allegedly signed his contract with his agent no more than like 10 minutes after that 2016 final. So, you know, I've spoken to a number of agents who have been at national championships. So these veteran players know that this is their chance to put on a show, to get some of these European teams to sign them for next season.
U Sports a great breeding ground for professional talent, and the right scouts are certainly watching as Neuert right into that block, but doesn't matter. Abrams couldn't get to it. Mitchell Neuert is having a match today.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, men's volleyball is the only sport in which U Sport and the NCAA play pretty much at par, right? So, you know, we saw McMaster go toe-to-toe with Long Beach earlier this year. They lost in 5 to them. Long Beach just beat the #1 team in Hawaii last night in the NCAA. We saw the Can-Am tournament happen back in 2019 where the Trinity Western Spartans defeated the defending champs Long Beach State 49ers as well. So men's volleyball is definitely one of those sports where, you know, you can play U Sports, you can play the NCAA. We don't really have that much talent drain going down to the States for men's volleyball because the quality of U Sports men's volleyball is so high.
And so privileged to get to see the 8 best teams in the nation go toe-to-toe as Mitchell Neuert with another kill.
Another beautiful one there by Mitch Neuert. You know, just another look at it. If you look at the 2021 Tokyo Olympic team roster, there's only 2 athletes on that roster who didn't play for U Sport programs, and that's Nick Hogue and Schwan Evans. And that's because both of those guys went pro immediately. Everyone else was from U Sport programs. Once again, you do not find across any other sport in the Canadian Olympic Committee.
Right. This will be Mitchell Neuert now. 23 points for him. A service error there.
That one kind of got away from him a little bit on the hybrid. Floated the wrong way.
Julian Juwan, who has the power, he just needs to harness it. From the baseline here. Now go by Tudor. Oh my, that was a blast from Cavender.
It was a blast from Cavender as that was a heavy swing on that 31. It was the net moving. Tough to see there on the replay. I thought I saw Cavender touch the net. But ultimately, point U of T.
Second year left side, Vanderkeep on the serve. Girolamo for Nastase.
Right into the antenna there by Nastase.
Miss hit there, and it's a 7-4 Windsor lead, or Varsity Blue lead, as Vanderkeep will stay on to serve here.
Good one. Serve, but
oh, Carey.
So So you're talking about it, how Windsor needs to release the middle. We saw just such a great pass there by Koski on such a tough serve too. So you know what, when it's so demoralizing for the team when you bang a serve like that, they pass a dime and then are able to score at the middle. If Windsor can do that, they're going to be able to get themselves back into this match.
Nastase doesn't have it.
No, just another service error there for the Windsor Lancers, and that's 19 on the afternoon.
Aiden Cavender can affect the game in so many ways. Here on that serve, Albert the first touch for Abrams. And that one, able to find the hands.
Let's go. Koski with his first swing. We're going to see here on the replay. And that's such a textbook swing. You've got three hands in front of you. You're going to swing that long angle to the opposite corner at the top of the hands. Perfectly executed by Koski.
Oh, that was a big blast there for Falardo, and he's heating up.
Yeah, Evan Falardo, once again, he had 6 errors through the first 2 sets of play, and none since then, although I probably just jinxed him.
Davis Young has been facilitating all day today. Deezer Alamo for carry. Tudor, Davis Young, and Newer. Oh, what a job there by Koski, and that's got to get over, and it does. Wow, what a play there on defense. It's finished off there by Mitchell Newer.
Yeah, that's a tough play there, as we see here on the free ball. Would have liked to see a bit better block there from Zach Albert. Your back row guys just chased 2 balls down. A little bit stronger hands at the net.
That one is going to be a duel at the net. Kept up by the Varsity Blues, but Mitchell Newer misfiring on that one.
A rare error there from Newer, who has 23 points on the afternoon. That's only his 3rd error. His such a high efficiency right now for the right side from Toronto. Ooh.
Carey on the serve. That one is brought down. No match for it. Falardo again.
Falardo just with the half-speed shot there.
Falardo serving at 11-7. Koski on the hit. Recovered there by the Varsity Blues, but they also send this one over. Free ball now for the Lancers. They're gonna find Koski.
That's really too bad, because I was going to really commend Koski for coming in and bringing a lot of energy and stuff, but not only does he get blocked, but he also commits the backcourt violation. But still, I do think that's a great substitution there by James Gravel to bring Koski in, but still, they trail 12-7 now, and the Varsity Blues can taste it.
And Mitchell Newer has been strong all day today, 23 points, but Evan Falardo has really picked up his level as this one has gone along.
Yeah, he absolutely has. He's been really good here in sets 3 and 4. Improving up to 15 points, 23 for Mitch Newer, and you can see such a big discrepancy. The leader is 11 for Lucas Nastase.
It's always interesting with these consolation games. Of course, everyone comes here with the goal in mind to win the tournament or medal. And then when your tournament and your opportunity at doing just that is stopped on day number 1, you suffer the disappointing loss. I'm sure it's pretty tough to wake up the next day and get motivated, get ready for this match, but seeing a good level for the Varsity Blues especially.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the Varsity Blues feel like they have so much more to prove. You know, losing that OUA semifinal, losing last year the way they did to Sherbrooke after taking the first set. You know, they really feel like their best opportunity, and one of the best teams that they had was back in the 2020 year that was stolen by COVID. That was the year they lost in the OUA final to Queens right here at McMaster. So, you know, this is a program that really wants to establish themselves continuously amongst the nation's best, and going 0-2 at nationals is not the way to do it.
Another service error. As both these teams from the OUA, and 2 OUA teams eliminated on day number 1, and not a lot of history of champions coming from that conference over the course of time.
No, they haven't won a championship since the 60s. And to be perfectly honest, I do think that there maybe should have been maybe 4 teams from the Canada West, 2 from the OUA, 2 from the RSEQ. Just the way that things worked out with the committee. But it's tough to see a team like Calgary, you know, who worked so hard in the toughest conference, not make it there.
Right. And there would have been 4 if McMaster didn't medal, which isn't a very high possibility of happening, as good defense here from Albert to keep that one up. Here come the Varsity Blues, and Mitchell Newer is there again.
Yeah, to me that ruling from the U Sports Committee needs to be maybe revised. You know, with the dominance that we've seen from the Canada West over the past few years, that's a great swing there, cross-court by Newer. They should be having the most opportunities, because, you know, even there's a team like MRU that lost in the quarterfinals to Calgary, and that was one of the top teams all season.
Yeah. McMaster will look to become the first ever OUA champion to go on and win U Sports, and such a huge storyline. Of course, their head coach Dave Preston retiring at the end of this season. It could be a storybook finish to that career.
Yeah, absolutely. And we could just see how focused that Marauders team was last night.
They want it bad.
They do.
As DiGirolamo sends it back, Koski.
Oh, Koski. Once again, I was so high on him in the first few points, and it's just dropped off quickly here in this 4th set. And you know what? I'm not going to call it now, but it definitely looks like U of T will move on to potentially play 4-5 tomorrow, while Windsor might be on the bus home.
Juwan. Oh, what a job there. That was Tudor keeping it up. Abrams now. DiGirolamo. Nastase misfires.
Windsor seems pretty sure that they got a touch on that, but I definitely don't agree. We have a pretty good view from where we're sitting right here, and I think that was all air, no ball, and you're just seeing how much U of T wants it. They're up by 8, and they're still sprawling. They're still going for it so hard on defense. Oh, that one's a little long.
So 7-point advantage. Great day of action here at the Burge Gym. Another quadruple header. Coming up next will be Saskatchewan against the Carabin de Montreal in the second consolation matchup. 17-10.
That one I think should be a really, really good matchup. Always love when you have the out-of-conference matchups, but I think Montreal did so well against Trinity Western last night, and I think the Huskies felt like they left a little bit on the table against the Marauders. And you know what? They won't have to deal with that rabid Marauders crowd, as Mitch Newer just continues to put points on the board there, going through the block for his 24th point of the afternoon.
Talking with Trinity Western yesterday, they're looking forward to playing in this hostile environment.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they've thrived in it before. I think they've won at least 2 national championships here. Definitely won back in 2016, and just fell short in 2018 with a bit of a flu bug was going through their team. I know their best player at the time, Eric Lefke, who just had a fantastic season in Italy, didn't even warm up with the team. They went and got him for the start from the hotel, and they lost to the UBC Thunderbirds. So Trinity Western knows how to play in this hostile environment, and they're a team that really embraces that.
So it'll be Trinity Western against McMaster at 6 p.m. and then Sherbrooke and Alberta in the nightcap at 8 p.m. as it's a big lead here for the Varsity Blues, but Windsor winning that point off the service error. So still in this one as It's going to be sent over as the Varsity Blues look to go to the attack, and Villardo hammering that one down.
Yeah, another swing by Villardo, and once again, he's really heated up in this third and fourth set. Beautiful swing down the line, as we saw there on the replay, and this 9-point lead here for the Varsity Blues. They are cruising.
Koski, DiGirolamo, and that one mishit there, as that was Colin Hutchinson, who is now checked in for the Lancers. 4 points away are the Varsity Blues from winning this consolation game and having a chance at 5th place here. Cavender on the serve. DiGirolamo for carry. Little touch over the net. That's along for Villardo. Wow. Cross court.
You know, I've brought it up with the beach experience for guys like Mitch Newart and stuff before, but Villardo's another guy with a little bit of beach experience, as we see there with that cutty. We're going to watch it here on the replay. Half-speed approach, thumb down, just a beautiful shot well within the attack line.
Yeah, common thread among a lot of these great players is beach volleyball experience. You see a number of them, especially on University of Alberta. What kind of skills translate from the beach onto the hard court?
I mean, it's still volleyball, right? So you're still passing, you're still setting, you're still hitting, but it's a much more difficult game. And in the indoor game, there's 6 guys, only 3 contacts. You can kind of hide sometimes if you're not feeling it. You know, if you're not feeling it offensively, then, you know, the setter can just go to someone else. But in beach volleyball, it's just you and your teammate, right? So you have to play every single point. You have to be engaged every single point. There's just so many more touches on the ball. And truly, I think one of the reasons we've seen so much growth within Canadian volleyball over the past decade or so is the introduction of beach volleyball into the programs. And so many of these guys, you know, they play on the OVA in the Wintertime Club, and then they play on the OVA Beach Tour in the summertime as well. And, you know, if only beach volleyball was a little bit more supported, as essentially if you want to play for the national team, you got to pay for yourself in some respects, we might see some more success at the professional level as well in that sport.
Stephen Abrams had great success at the 2022 Canadian Beach Volleyball Tournament in Calgary. Gold medal with Guelph's Johnny Pickett.
Winners of the Canada Games this past summer as well, too, for Team Ontario. Also got to give a shout out to their brand 8x8. Check them out, 8x8 Apparel. They actually do that in order to support the growth of beach volleyball, to help build courts around small towns in Ontario.
Nice. The 2 number 8s. Great tandem on and off the court.
Yeah, the 8x8 goes by the size of the beach volleyball court.
Oh, not their numbers.
No, 8 meters by 8 meters, whereas the indoor court is 9 meters by 9 meters.
Closing time here for the Varsity Blues as Albert's ball unplayable there, and it's match point now for the Varsity Blues.
Yeah, here they have just run away with it as the Windsor Lancers have truly just died off. I thought we might have a game with it after the way they took that second set, but it has been all Varsity Blues since then.
Davis Young on the serve. Lancers, Albert, and there is the Varsity Blues block. Mitchell Newart was there, and the Varsity Blues will take it in 4 sets and advance to the 5th place game tomorrow, and the tournament is done for the Windsor Lancers.
Yeah, that was just complete domination there in sets 2 and 4 by the Varsity Blues, and it just looks like the Windsor Lancers got a little bit deflated. They're new to this level of ball, they're new to this experience, they're new to this environment. And truly, I think they've had such a great season, and it's really a disappointing 2 weeks with how they played in the Forsyth Cup final here at McMaster, and then how they played here at Nationals. You know, they're so good to finish off the season like that with 3 losses is really going to put a bad taste in the mouth for what was such a fantastic season for the Windsor Lancers.
Yeah, their most successful season in program history, earning that OUA silver medal to back up a bronze a couple years ago, and The UFT Varsity Blues take it in 4, 25-12 in the fourth. You're watching U Sports Volleyball on CBC Sports. And welcome back inside the Burrs Gymnasium, where they're announcing the Mikasa players of the game, and an easy choice for the Varsity Blues.
Yeah, Mitch Newer, well-deserved. 25 points in this one. Swinging a 4.77, just absolutely lights out to help qualify the Varsity Blues for that fifth place match.
And for the Windsor Lancers, it's the setter, Anthony DiGirolamo.
Absolutely.
Great job from him distributing the ball today. You're watching volleyball on CBC Sports.